It gets me every time. That damn countdown.
It's like, what? Done.
It's like, oh, you wanted a half a second to breathe. Just kidding. It's Wednesday. I'm not at my house, so now I'm trying to play Will. Actually, I've been really, jonesing, wishing I could live out of a hotel, and I decided, you know what, this is the day. Might as well do it on a Wednesday, so I can be a Hotel Brothers once again with Will.
Dude, I've been gone entirely too long. I think I'm on week 5.
No.
And this is actually, technically, I went on another work trip right at the beginning of the year. So this is week 6 that I've been gone out of the year.
So, you got quite a few more weeks, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's tough.
I don't know the plan. I'm just here for the ride.
Is that the biggest negative of your job? Is the travel?
Dude, honestly, it's the first time that we've traveled, so it is.
We've been there what, 2 years or so?
Yeah, 2 years. So I mean, like a lot of it has been building up to this point. So it's like, okay, cool. Like we get to finally do the things, but
yeah,
I don't like being gone this long at a time. Like send me on a week work trip, fine, but like months at a time, like
yeah.
And it's kind of like open-ended. It's like it could be
the rest of your
2
life.
more weeks. It could be 4 more weeks. You're like, whoa,
that's tough. Yeah,
that's not fun.
Let's make it 2 more days. Thanks. It is Wednesday. Money printer go blur. I see that, Bryce. Obviously, Will is our resident blur maxi, and
Dude,
Bryce is the vice president of the blur maxis.
No, I'm like, what's? The, I don't
oh yeah, you're like the jester.
yeah, there it is. I'm like the long lost cousin. It's like just clings on to the fact that there's some of the same blood.
Oh man, dude, blur at $1.12 right now. I'm like that meme. Let me find it. I should have came better prepared today.
I'm like the meme where the school bus is on fire and the kid's in the back and he's like, "It's fine, I'm fine."
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't sell all mine right off the rip, because when I first sold like half my bag would have been worth like 7 ETH, and I ended up getting like 9.5 out of it, I think. But now now it's just like it'd be like, oh, it'd be worth 15 or 16. Just absolute nuttiness.
Oops. Hold on.
I'm the meme of the fox in that one. I don't even know what freaking animated thing it is, and it's like, help me, I'm poor. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is me. I'm currently in the maybe I should have held stage. I didn't exit too much. I mean, so my strategy is I had terrible service when it was going live, and like there was chaos, and Bryce said, "Yo, you're like try and get your tokens." So I pulled up one of my wallets, which was my hot wallet that
you gonna blame me for this? Hold up.
I am gonna blame you, because you did not feed me any data whatsoever. I was flying blind as could be. Basically, I sold the local.
You did it yourself.
I sold the local bottom.
You
from my first wallet.
You sold like
50%, whatever. But I mean, Bryce was like, "Yo, that's like worth 15 ETH," and I'm like, "Is this? Are we mooning right now? Do I need to sell? Is this like dumping?" And I was like, "You know what? It's 15 ETH. I don't really give a shit at this point. Like, I'm gonna just sell it." Like, so I slammed the buy button as soon as I could like get the thing to load. But like, it didn't want to load. It was too much. Shitty Wi-Fi, or not even shitty Wi-Fi, shitty cell service is like 1 bar of service trying to watch those stupid ass videos, which they're not stupid. They
I was about to say, dude, I thought their whole claim process was actually pretty sick.
But in a moment of like, I just give me the freaking tokens, it was more of like, these videos, holy shit,
fuck off. Yeah.
So anyways,
I will say it's been crazy to see all the blur bidding and just absolute madness the last almost 30 hours now.
I feel like people see these charts, right? And it's like, if they haven't dipped their toe in yet, now they're attempting. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that statement? Just because they're seeing that they obviously, some people were highly rewarded for doing that. And so now they're like, well, I guess I can try. And so you're seeing more activity for sure.
Dude, take a look at this nonsense, man. This is ETH balance of Machi's Blur bidding wallet. So like anytime he deposited ETH, so he had like 1,400 ETH. You know, it kind of dropped off. I guess he probably took some out, put some back in, and then when it trickles off, that's just bids just getting absolutely hammered. It was kind of
wait. Trickling off was when he was getting like
that was his balance, right? Yeah.
This is balance. So like up here at the peak, I don't know if you can see that peak there.
Yeah, we can.
1,600, and then all the way down to about 300. But I mean, like, dude, he just had ETH like coming in, coming out, going all over the place, and it's just like he was hitting like apes, mutants, Azukis, maybe beans as well, and so yeah, I mean, dude, he's getting a crap load of bidding points, and then he's also getting a crap load of listing points now because he literally just like became a vacuum, started picking up everything that he could get his hands on, and then he just turned around and lists it at floor. So like when you have that much volume and you can buy where you literally brick the floor bids and then you brick the floor like listings, you can't do anything.
Nada.
Other than let him just rake in absolute giga points.
He do be raking right
now. When you list everything like at the floor and you list below like 50 other people or you have 50 listings below other people, then it's kind of nuts.
Couldn't you play a game like I'm trying to understand this. So like you would think with all the Blur bidding happening, right? And people like obviously they got a big airdrop. Some people are putting that directly into making bids on different projects. And I just I'm looking at the Bored Ape floor, for example, and it's stayed the exact same via OpenSea. Now I'm not looking at Blur specifically, but wouldn't you think that it would be ripping upwards with all of the buying that's happened? Or would you say that it's just people, I don't know, like, can you, I think I'm just, you know what I mean though? Like, it's almost like you can buy like Franklin, right? Like he bought like whatever, 13, I think in 2 hours, but then he's obviously listing them for those rewards as well, right? So is he just doing that consistently? Like you're basically buying 13 and then you're listing 12 and buying 13 and listing 12.
Dumping them on Will and dumping them on other bidders. And
you know what I'm saying? So like, that's where
turning, right? I mean, they're just like cycling through ETH, getting listing points, getting bid points.
But I mean, when you do that, you are taking a hit to some extent.
What's up?
You are taking a hit to some extent.
For sure. Yeah, like I did that with 2 other deeds. Was rocking like the highest bid on other deeds. They got hit, and then I just, dumped 2 others to bids. I'm like, I got bid points, I got listing points.
I mean, I definitely love that it's definitely bringing in liquidity 1000%, and people are more, I would say, aggressive too with making those bids because they know that they can also instantly dump if they need to. But it's just an interesting discussion. I think that's no hate or love either way. I'm right in the middle, and I think it's a good thing because it does. I think it's going to push for more activity overall. It's just, do you understand my interest in the, like, does it, I don't know. It's good because it allows you to dump instantly if you need to, and you have liquidity all the time in projects that are worthwhile, right? Some of these projects are worth shit, so you shouldn't have liquidity. But then at the same time, like I just get stuck right in the middle, I guess.
I mean, the thing you can't deny though is like when you look at this, you could exit 18 mutants at 16, 17. Like that is, currently not something we've ever really experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that you can allow for these for these illiquid JPEGs to actually kind of have this sense of being more liquid is kind of like what we're achieving here. And in a sense, when you like reach this like higher level of efficiency in the market, you're able to then, treat these illiquid JPEGs more like ERC20s on an exchange, like a Coinbase or whatever. Which I mean, it kind of goes back to that. I think it was Kobe who said, what did he say? It was like the JPEGs are just shit coins with pictures on them or something like that.
Yeah. I don't really remember that, but that sounds about right.
I feel like I remember that. Yes, it was something very similar to that. And so that's what you're saying. That's what you want it to be, where it's more treated like a coin rather than an.
So
is that what you would say, or no?
The stickiness aspect of an inefficient market kind of allows for prices to move a little more wildly. This will allow for prices to be a little more actual and in depth too, which is the big thing here. Because it's like when you really stack this up, what percent of the supply we got? 189, 87.
Yeah, we're looking at almost 300.
Yeah, almost 300 out of a 20K collection. So you could market dump 1.5% of the entire collection at in between 16.17 and 16.15. That is insane.
Right, and we'll still be at 16.15. Wild.
So give you an idea. So let me paint another picture. Let me grab a chart here. We're going to do this on the fly. I'm not quite sure how this would work out, but we will see. Let's just say you had Ethereum, right?
Shout out to Ethereum for that 9%.
1693. Let's go.
We love that. We love it. We love it.
Ultrasound money. Let's take a look here. We're burning a ton. Thanks, Blur. Current supply 120 million.
That's a lot of ETH.
Did I say 1.5%?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This would be the equivalent of saying you currently, as of right this very instant, you could market dump 1.8 million ETH.
And price would stay.
And price would literally not do anything.
Not move.
Which at what is ETH currently at?
1690.
1700 almost.
Yeah.
That's $3 billion.
That's
so
wild.
if this market that we have now on mutants in its current form, where it was 1.5% of the total token supply, if you could translate that to to the token market and have that be applied to ETH, the ability to just market dump $3 billion and it does nothing. is.
And there's the liquidity for that. I don't think you could go market dump 3 billion.
I would say liquidity. That makes more sense to me. I think it would have an impact if that happened, but I understand what you're saying. It's instantly there. That's massive for sure. Because what other where else is that a real thing? It's
so let me show you what there's this +2 and -2% depth, which essentially says how much liquidity is there. So to the downside, -2% depth, your best, and this is saying the price would move down 2% if this much volume. I think that's the correct way to interpret this, is if you dumped these amount of tokens, it would move the price down 2%. So you would have to dump $16.7 million worth. And we just said 3 billion. So I don't know. Obviously, stuff's blown out of proportion here on mutants and other deeds and all this other stuff. Dude, this is ridiculous too. The fact that you could just get out of floor deeds at
2.02, 2.01.
Man, wild. Very wild. Oh wait, sorry. I was on the wrong chart.
It's all good. I was looking at your 2% depth, brother.
So anyways,
other deeds, they're ripping.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Obviously there's a lot of volume still on Blur, and they airdropped 18% of token supply, and so we still have another.
I think it was less than that. I think it might have been 12.
So we still have another 30 to 40% of token supply coming to Blur users. I'm curious on price action of Blur, right? Like obviously there's not a ton in supply and people are bullish with, the Blur marketplace right now. Will that continue, into the next airdrop, or will it eventually fade out? And then B, once all the tokens are airdropped, there's going to have to be some incentive there to keep providing liquidity and bids, or else like they'll just disappear.
I mean,
so I'm curious to
I don't
see
know,
what
but
their tokenomics are.
they definitely already talked about it a little bit, basically
sure.
saying that they believe having that bid side liquidity is the most important thing to having this market grow. And we saw it today, right? When there's bids coming in because people want the tokens, which currently they're incentivized to want the tokens, there's a flood of liquidity. And they have real consequences, right? You're not rewarded on Blur for having the most amount of volume in bids accepted. You're rewarded in Blur for having the most amount of
Bids
bid volume open actively, right? Like not like the second that your bid gets hit, your points get you stop earning points. You don't get extra points because you got a listing dumped to you. So it's only for active bids. But you can also gain points from just listing your NFTs. So like something I did is just listed everything, even the ones that I don't want to sell. I just mark them up nice and pretty and just say, well, if it does sell, then
right. Yeah, for sure.
Bad idea.
Got a good question from Anthony here, Will. So what's the Blur claim? Does it have an expiration date?
I want to say it was like 60 days.
I think that's right. I think it was 60 days as well. And then is there a second season coming? Is that correct?
Dude, so it's like season 2, but like there's like all these different things going on, and there's like this, this weird map looking thing. We've got this thing called loyalty rewards here.
Okay.
Which, they do like their loyalty. That was one of the contributing factors to determining how big your airdrop was, and what kind of rarity boxes you could get was what your loyalty score was. So if it was 100%, you had the highest chance of getting mythicals, which ultimately meant more Blur token. Redacted, to me, I almost wonder if they're going to come out with like the killer mobile app, something better than their mobile site currently is, obviously, because it's garbage if you've ever tried to use it.
Not compatible.
But dude, honestly, think about this. If they could get like a solid, maybe they come out with a, I don't know. I don't want to put something here that's not there, but like if they could make it so that you could really be a power user on mobile for NFTs as well, I think that would seriously change the game.
I think a big thing too for mobile is like the MetaMask app sucks on mobile. Like you go to the browser and you try and load a tab, like it just takes forever. So if they somehow figure out a way to make an app separate from MetaMask where you can still connect your wallet but function separately, not on the MetaMask app, that would be pretty bullish.
It would. Then we have F switch. No clue what this means. It looks like we have a curve that goes up and then down and then back up. And then there is boxes of money on either side of that curve. So I don't know. Not familiar with that. Unless if that's like a liquidity pool or like a, I don't know. It kind of looks like you're swapping. It kind of looks like you're also headed into the matrix. Yeah, that too. There's this little right here, which to me, that just looks like we are
taking small tokens and going to big tokens.
Staking. It also looks like a flywheel. Mine for blah, 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 something else. Are we mining for goo? Some gobble goo? Possibly.
Hey, it's the gabagoo.
We've got this one, which that's binary, so we could decipher that if we wanted to, but There's stuff happening there. And then they're going to have support for art blocks, which currently all of these different platforms that are essentially aggregators, they suck at having art blocks integrated into them just because of the complexity of the art blocks collections and how they truly are kept separate, but then they all fall under the same deployer and blah, blah, blah. It's just a mess. So that's kind of cool. They're going to do support for art blocks, which will be exciting for a lot of people. Economics, tokenomics, Bluronomics,
LIST, listonomics,
fluctuationonomics. I don't know shit.
I don't know.
There's some weird. I mean, I gotta give it to them. They got some funky little graphics
got
going
some
on.
cryptic ass shit going on.
And then Liquidity Project. Liquidity Project X.
They throw a Project X.
Another bending line. What does that mean? I'm really curious if they can find like new ways to like really make things liquid like that. I mean, why not? Why not?
Pretty
it
sweet.
Makes NFTs that much more exciting.
How much ETH do you think someone would need to have if they had they had never done any bidding on Blur to be able to get like maybe not massive rewards, but fairly consistent rewards for having bids out? Like, what do you think is the threshold there? Because like I get the sense it's higher than a lot of people have.
So the thing that matters, right, is that you have a competitive bid on a collection that has a high amount of volume. So like it's not impossible for like a collection like beans. The 1 day volume on beans, they're currently ranked, what is that, 6th? So, you know, you could come into beans and have like 1.78 ETH and ride in this group of 1.78 ETH bidders. The other thing you could do, if you wanted to, you could, you know, stick your neck out on the line and bid 1.79, but then you risk obviously getting the bean dropped to you. So if you really wanted to like kind of dig into it, you could be like, well, I'm going to look historically at at trading volume for beans over a 24-hour period, find a window of the least amount of activity, and then be like, that's when I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. You know, and
even if it does get hit, you wait 3 hours, you dump it at 1.78 and you lose 0.01 plus gas.
But then you make like 30.
But you've made some bidding points.
Like, okay, cool.
Blur tokens and yeah. Because that's like, I think we had talked about the tweet the other day where like the number one Blur wallet was funded 111 days ago.
They had
all this volume, lost 30 ETH in those 111 days, but got millions airdropped to them.
Yeah,
right?
They got a lot, and they
just because you might be taking some L's here and there, like, you know, clearly the token will probably reward you back more than you lose.
So if you're losing, like, no, I agree completely. Like, obviously, if you're able to do that and have that much like liquid and take those little L's over time, that's going to be massive. But again, for this person, let's say person A that has, I don't know, 5 Ethereum, like how far does that get you in this game of farming?
So if you have 5 ETH, but you have a lot of JPEGs, I would probably just go the route of like listing competitively on a lot of things. And so there's other things you can do too. Let's say you do have 5 ETH, okay? But in your wallet, you already have 1 bean. You could be the top bid, you know, ride that until you get a bean dumped to you. Then you turn around and dump your other bean that isn't token locked for 3 hours or trading locked for 3 hours. You dump that to the bid that is sitting there right below yours. You lose a minimal amount of ETH, and then, you know, then you're sitting with a bean still and you have some extra points. So there's ways to kind of like try and like siphon it off the top if you wanted to. Now, I've definitely got like a degen play that would like totally potentially work if there's like blue chip NFTs in your portfolio already. I'd kind of mentioned it to you earlier, Phil. It was like the concept of like say you don't have that liquidity, but you do have blue chips, there is the possibility that you could go onto somewhere like BinDAO, and then pull a loan against your NFT. And so the interesting thing about BinDAO right now is you're actually making money borrowing ETH on BinDAO. So currently, the way it works is when you take a loan, they charge you interest and you have to pay that back in ETH. But they also give you rewards in the form of their platform token called BEND. And so currently, 26% APR for your ETH that you borrow, and you're getting 38% earned in BEND rewards. So you're actually netting 11%, which is kind of nuts if you think about it. So you could technically say you have, an Azuki or something. You could come here and borrow an additional 4.5 ETH. If you've got a mutant, you could borrow 8. A Bored Ape, you could borrow 46. And then you could be super conservative about how you use that. And then, use it for a few days, put it back, whatever you want to do. And then it's minimal friction. But obviously, there is risks involved with using a platform like this. There could be a hack or something that comes in, and then suddenly you no longer have access to your ape, and that would be tragic. So
no, I like that. Thank you. I think that's good information, just because I think sometimes people can sit there and think like, oh, I have no clue how to get involved in Blur. I only have maybe they do. Maybe they are that person that has a bunch of blue chips, maybe it's a variety, but they're never very liquid, right? Like maybe they've got 1 or 2 ETH and that's like all they ever play with. I think that's just a breakdown of some options that people can do, because I think that's important. Because again, like, we like more marketplaces. That's good. We want competition. We don't want monopolies across really any business. So this is great. Like, I'm glad that Blur is doing some things that are different and trying to push the boundaries a little bit. And there was a tweet that I wanted to share real quick, and then we could discuss it briefly here.
let's see it.
From our good friend. What are your thoughts on this? Because obviously OpenSea had come in and basically said they're trying to block everybody out, right? Like, they're basically trying to monopolize their marketplace. And a lot of it has to do with royalties, right? Like, that was their play, is that they wanted to say, like, we support royalties. If you want to go to these places, fuck you. You can't, basically. And so your thoughts on Blur basically coming back and saying, like, well, fuck you too. Kind of turning it on their head a little bit. I think it's a good thing, because it's like a battle. Like, to me, it's a battle. And at the end of the day, if you have marketplaces battling for your attention, who ends up winning? The consumer, right? I would think.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so, yeah, I mean, Pac-Man basically said, "Yo, Blur, yo, OpenSea, let's go, man, let's go, put them up." But they basically are in a position where they can do that now, right? Like, they've been the underdog, heavily the underdog. A lot of a lot of critique was thrown their way, criticisms and all sorts of stuff, where people were like, "Oh man, they're gutting all these collections for their royalties, and they're doing this and they're doing that," and then they kind of bumped up their minimum. Like a minimum creator royalty fee of 0.5%, which didn't have a whole lot of impact to the bids and the listings and the bids that were happening when people were farming the tokens. So they were like, okay, cool. We made this change and the system didn't break. So to me, that would just indicate that it is an acceptable amount, or something that isn't right. Like, it's you don't even think about it. You're like, oh, I know it's a little bit there that gets taken off the top if I decide to dump with no royalties, but like, hey, that is so much more minimal than anything I've experienced anywhere else in this market. So I like liquidity, and I like a lot of it. So I'm going to take as much of it as I can, is essentially the mindset you would have there. But back to this, the whole block OpenSea or
Yeah. Right.
or you're
else
sent
basically.
to doom with the forever low royalty. I mean, yeah, that is, it's spicy. Blur basically said, yo, we happen to have just gained a lot of support from the NFT community because we just slid them a nice little something something.
Stimmy.
So here, you want a little adrenaline shot? Here you go, bud. Get back on your feet, you degen. This bear market's not over, but it might be now.
I will say too, like Blur's made a lot of really positive changes to their website, just like its user interface. I remember like when it first launched, there was a ton of things that were like, all right, this is annoying, this sucks, like this needs to go. And they listened to their community and fixed it. And I don't think OpenSea's really changed too much of anything in the last like 2 years.
It's been really slow, that's for sure. I will say I noticed the difference. Y'all had talked about it the other day with me, and I hadn't gone on to Blur. I like never go on Blur, but then I was today or yesterday or something, just checking out the website, and it popped up. Or do you want this? Are you a trader? Or are you a holder? Basically, is what it asked you, and I was like, that's great, because when I first went on Blur, I thought it sucked for what I am doing, right? Which is like, I'm just not super active, like trading all the time. And so it was a little bit intimidating for me. Now they give you the option. Do you want this? You're, mass degen, you're super great trader and you're doing that all the time. Or do you want this more pictures, larger pictures, et cetera, that you can check out the NFT and pick out what you want to hold? I think that was genius, because you should have options. Like, think about like every app that we have. You have at least some sort of functionality, dark mode, light mode. How do you want to gather the information daily?
For real.
Yeah. And I mean, it took a little bit of getting used to. There's a learning curve. Everything wasn't quite where you would expect it to be. Like for bids when they first came out, I remember like sitting there thinking like, wait, how do I do this? But then like once you figure it out and you like know all the buttons and where they are, it's like, oh, okay, like you can make your way around relatively easy, and then you're off to the races. The UI sometimes makes my head hurt just a little bit, because it's like,
yeah, the font's a little,
but like it's also, there is a lot of data packed into this web page. Like when you think about it,
yeah. No, I agree. So,
I'm curious to see where they go. Obviously, it was something ridiculous. Like OpenSea rate, like had around at like 33 billion, I want to say. Jeez. And so, obviously down from that, given the current market standing. But it's like, imagine in the next bull market when NFTs inevitably, 10x, 20x, 100x in size. I mean, there's more. So how many traders? It was like 146,000 traders.
Yeah.
Dude, there's more people that play MMORPGs that understand game economies and like it's so many of those same skills. Just translate them over and you'll understand trading NFTs and collecting and whatever, and like digital items. Like, you're already there, right? Like, there's millions of people that log in and play RuneScape, World of Warcraft, strategy games, League of Legends, all that kind of stuff. It's just like, I don't see how the space doesn't inevitably do that mass onboarding event, but we're just like missing like whatever that little key thing is.
Catalyst, yeah.
I wanted to think back about this, because I was kind of like trying to like remember like the massive wave of onboarding that happened, because like it was quiet. Like, it was busy, but it was quiet when Bored Apes were small, when things were still under 5-10 ETH. And like, we sat, like, you look at the chart and it's like flatline compared to like what happened. And so it's like, damn, like what were those key things that like really like flipped the switch and like a wave of people came in? And I can't quite like put my finger on them. Like obviously there was a couple events where it was just like, oh, this celebrity picked up an ape, that celebrity picked up an ape, blah blah.
I
And then
flipped
like,
this one for $1,000.
but like was the celebrities picking up apes like the main driver there that really brought all the people in? You know, like was it like some person like on a big live stream talked about it and was like, you know, like it was almost just kind of like everything at once kind of was coming together. Obviously there was big things happening in the space. Visa did the whole thing with the CryptoPunk, and then things just started like moving. Right. And it was
Well, if you
just like,
think about it, like Blau onboarded a shit ton of people giving away apes in his Discord. And I know there are plenty of other people that did the same thing. I think a lot of it was just bringing awareness to NFTs to anybody that was even remotely interested in crypto. Like you, Will, for example.
but I mean, so we talk about, oh, we need to onboard people and they don't even know they're interacting with NFTs. And it's like, well, yes, but like also maybe not, you know, like maybe they can know, maybe they can know what they're doing.
I think both of it's
wouldn't be a terrible thing.
I think the big thing is like, especially with wallet security, right? Like, you know, people talk about, oh, there needs to be an easy way for people to just come in and set up a wallet. Like people still need to know the lesson of like, these are the keys to your wallet. There's no, you know, help desk that'll help you recover it. Like if you lose these words, you're done. Like that's a pretty big.
Some people just aren't ready for that either, you know, like
that too.
That's part of it though, right? Is like, I think we're still in the stage where crypto is still wild, wild west, right? And like there are going to be a large number of people that love the more decentralized, the better, right? Like we control our destiny. But at the end of the day, to be honest, there's going to be a larger portion of the world that will never be the case. And so finding a way for them to be in the space in NFTs and crypto in a more like secure, aka they have someone else securing that for them. I think that's where you get like that perfect marriage where you have an option of like, do you want to control, kind of like what we're doing in this sense?
Like we're currently in control
of our own shit. Yeah. Or do you want this other person to help you along the way? And not a person, I mean an entity, of course.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot lie.
With a help desk.
Yeah.
I cannot lie though. Hold on. Let me pull it up. This today just made my day. It was the new meme card from
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Vincent Van
Doe. Thank you.
Texans, we love this ish.
Dude, I was just like, wow. Who knew I needed this meme card in my life? I need to pick one up. I probably will just because.
I actually liked it, to be honest, more than like a lot of the meme card shit I don't like. I actually like this one.
I posted it on my Instagram today and I got a couple comments on it, which was exciting. Come and take it with the Ledger Pro. Like it doesn't get any better than that. I feel like this is very much like the this is the DGen flag right here.
It really is.
It protects the DGen flag at least.
But when you think about it, the amount of control, like it sounds stupid, but like I feel like I own these assets the way that I have the control over them. I feel like I own them so much more than like, you know, shit in a brokerage account or like.
No, I agree.
So there's like
my ETH goes where I want it to go when I want it to go there.
Yeah, it doesn't take 3 to 5 business days for it to send. It is right then.
I want to buy Monkey JPEG. I buy Monkey JPEG. Right? Like,
yeah, literally.
As fucking stupid as that is. As stupid as that is.
Because there are some, again, like I think it's always going to be a smaller percentage that want that, but like we need to have both, and the space is going to grow. And I think it is like, what's that next thing? I don't think anybody knows, right? Like I think events like that just happen. It's kind of like almost sometimes when you least expect it, these things happen in all things in life. It's like the last moment where you're like, oh shit, this is dead, or they got no shot here. That's when some random thing happens and people are like, you know what, I'm actually interested in this. Oh, what's an NFT? Oh, cool. And I have no clue what that'll be.
So something that I think might be like a fair middle ground is almost like you need to be able to have the same sense of ownership, but have the exchange involved in some aspect or something like that. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this, but like imagine, right? I'm going to steal this from a video game that I'm familiar with because I used to play it back in the day. I used to play RuneScape. There was like a bank pin where you would like go into your bank and you could put, you could lock it up with a pin. You could have it essentially where if you could log into your account, you could just get into the bank and you didn't have a pin, or you could put the extra layer of security. So I almost feel like we need to reach this point where everyone kind of transitions away from like hot wallet, cold wallet kind of use, and maybe we adapt and use some other kind of service, which would in some essence could be a Gnosis safe, but like change the dynamics of it a little bit that make it like you and a centralized party be involved.
Right.
And then you have like this process where it's like, yeah, I can recover my seed phrase, and then you have control over it, but you have that like backup to the point where it can come back from the help of somebody else.
I think that's great. I think it's something that will happen. I think that's a great idea, honestly.
Because then they're like, okay, but like you need to wait 14 days or something, 7 days or something before you gain access to it again because you're recovering it.
Right.
And that would give anybody ample amount of time if they got their stuff hacked and somebody's coming in and doing a false, claim to recover it. You could just come in, cancel out the, use your seed phrase, cancel out the request, and away you go.
Yeah.
So what would be like a solution to like hackers that will hack your email and then, reset seed phrase or whatever? Like how would you circumvent that? I mean, would you have to tie it to like your IRL ID? Like, here's my driver's license to prove that this is my account? Because I know that would not make a lot of people happy.
No, I mean, you would just say, here's my seed phrase. If you own the seed phrase, then you should have a copy of your seed phrase.
Yeah, and you would just enter it if somebody
you would go to wherever your seed phrase is and grab it and
change a password, change your email.
You not change it, but like you would just go in and say, no, this is not correct, and then they would be like, hey, okay, well, so if you didn't make this claim, somebody else did, which means they tried to have access to your stuff, which means you need a new wallet. So here's a new seed phrase, and then all the stuff just gets ported over.
Interesting.
I think that security conversation, we could talk about that for hours, because the thing is, that's really not just a crypto problem. That's a human problem, right? Like this is like phones getting hacked, SIM swapped, etc. And like there are precautions that people can do, but it takes you literally going to your phone company and saying, you cannot switch this. Oh, whoa, Disney, unless I am here in the flesh, right? There are things that can happen that will help us. All right, I'm wanted to transition to the other large item that happened this week, very large item, and that is the key is now with its owner, Mongral. No surprise there. He was, he won by like a lot. I don't even think it was really close between first and second. He has the price of course, crypto is a crime. 2,222 ETH. So a cool 3.7 million. My question to both of you, and by the way, the highest offer currently is 222 ETH, which is 375K ish. My question to you is, what is the selling price of this, do you believe?
I think we're going for 1.2.
1.2.
Yeah, I'd say at least one. I think he was smart listing it pretty high at like 3.7, to where if there's somebody that's like, fuck it, I want it, and they'll go buy it. But I do think we'll probably see more realistic offers in the $1 million range.
Somebody more degen than nobody.eth.
Who knows? He might come in and buy it for 2,200.
Someone was saying Jimmy was going to come in and buy it, and I was like, I don't know if that would be a Jimmy purchase.
I don't feel like that's a Jimmy purchase. Not at this price, no. Like
The
1
key
point.
in trial of Jimmy.
Oh,
It is his
Destiny?
name.
Could be.
Destiny.
we love
Jimmy?
this name.
Go buy it. Bitcoin is a scam. Could not agree more. Bitcoin ordinals. How we feel about those bad boys?
Oh no.
I'm gonna burn my ape.
Well, my
and
lawyer told me
private on
to
Bitcoin
write
forever.
this, but you are not allowed to use my ape on the Bitcoin blockchain.
His
Oh,
name
yeah.
couldn't have come in at a better time. Bitcoin is a scam. Oh Lord.
The key though, yeah, 1.2 to 1.5 million is my guess. What are your thoughts on price action for sewer passes that actually have a score, even if it's 25,000? What's the
Dude,
floor for a
so-
25,000 pass?
Personally, there's really not much more benefit to owning a 25,000 score and owning an NA.
Yeah, and that's
I
why
think.
that's why I sold my tier 1 at a loss. So I bought a tier 1 like as soon as it was announced, and I was like, all right, this is the cheapest, tier 1 with the score. There was like 5 or 6 below it, and I was like, this is going to be a good play. And now there's NAs that are like half an ETH below a shitty score. So I sold my tier 1 that I bought for a slight loss, but I'm like, I feel like I'm better off buying an NA for half an ETH cheaper and still getting a valid score next Wednesday. And, rather than being ranked 25K, I'm ranked, 30K. Like, I don't think that 5K difference is going to be a half an ETH.
Can we break that down a little? Because the way I glanced at it, I simply glanced at it, so I'm sure I missed something. But the way that I was taking that was you have a chance to do the frog, which would be like for a companion, but that would mean you aren't eligible for the power source because that's what Dookey Dash was for.
We'll call up the.
No, I got it. I'm bringing the facts, baby. It's coming. It's coming.
I thought the same thing at first, Phil. I was like, oh, I thought the toad mode was just to get the companion, but that is not the case.
So the score was quite literally only for the key.
No. Okay. So all sewer pass holders can re-enter the sewer February 22nd, an opportunity to earn a companion trait for their power source during a bonus round, something we're calling toad mode. So there's a separate leaderboard to that. More details later. And even if your score is currently set to 0, you can still play toad mode for a chance to get a score ahead of the summoning. Hold on. Sorry. This was not where it was. It was over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. 0 scores. The toad is your last chance. So if you have you need a valid score greater than 0 to participate in the summoning and transform their sewer passes. If you missed that, or if you picked up a pass with a 0 or a wiped score, you have another shot during the toad event. Essentially, use the sewer pass, get a score greater than 0.
Oh, but it's only for the leftover. So you're
Right.
after 25,000.
Right, but
Okay.
that's where it's like a half an ETH differential.
Yeah, sure.
And you'll be, ranked
Yeah.
26,000 instead of 25,000. Like,
I would have rioted if they were like, you could get fucking 10th best. I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even need to play Dookey Dash.
So personally, when I read this, I felt like this was kind of leaning towards them giving us time blocks and saying, hey, if you are a sewer pass holder and you own 1 through 1,000 or 1 through 2,000, you get to go first, second, third, whatever, and go and pick out a power source. And so because why are they talking about only the power sources left over after those with the valid OG Dookey Dash scores have claimed first?
Right. That means you're going to be able to pick from
power
different
sources.
Power sources. Oh, here's a 1 in 50 power source. Here's a 1 in 100 power source. Here's a 1 out of 5,000 power source.
So then I guess you could be like, well, I'm ranked whatever. I get to claim power source, rarity rank this. But I guess potentially you could miss it and be like, oh shit, I showed up late and now I have to claim at the back of the bus with the rest of these people. I'm not entirely sure. It definitely seems interesting. Who knows? Who freaking knows?
I'm excited.
This is an interesting comment.
That'd be pretty sick.
That brings me to the question: is Mongral better off selling the key before the mech reveals or after the mech reveals?
I mean, we don't even know we know so little with the key that's a great question.
Or should he just keep?
I mean, if homie can
forever?
secure a $1 million sale, fucking take it, right? That's my opinion. I don't think it's going to be so great that all of a sudden the key's value goes from 1 million to 2 million or 2 million to 3 million or whatever.
Watch it be like the fucking gatekeeper of something.
Yeah, right.
You just like
Everybody's got to go through the key in order to get into the other side.
You got to pay the trolls toll to get into this boys' hole, my guys. If you got that reference, you're OG. Always sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I think I would. Oh my god, I'm such a Yuga maxi. I'd probably just hold it because I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, Bryce, you're right. If you can sell for over $1 million, you probably should do that.
Just sell it. Take your money.
Yeah,
especially for him. Like
especially
for him,
right, like, he has
like,
no Yuga exposure except for this
No.
key, so it's like
massive
yourself
dub.
a gold ape.
take the sell and go buy yourself an ape, a grail ape, and just
Then chill and then win the next game and fucking bend us over every time there's a game. Just bend us over, taking first.
Please.
So
When is the summoning though? Just for those that I know they had pushed it back. Is it like March 8th or something like that?
Yep. So we have 3 weeks until the summoning. I believe it's 3 weeks.
I was thinking the 22nd, but that is Toad
Next
mode.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Toad
So
mode.
that's licking the toad.
So I think they were saying something about like you bounce off the items in Toad mode. So if you like bonk the items, collect the frogs, and do other things, then like,
Dude, I
that's how you
really
get
want a
points in Toad mode.
companion because I think it's those Pokemon motherfuckers, and that I would actually FOMO if that's the case, and I don't get one.
Dude, I'm actually kind of excited for Toad mode because it kind of sounds like they're not like, you know how like you had time to build up a strategy and get good at the Dookey Dash. This is more going to be like head to head, like people just duking it out.
Yeah, you got 3 hours. Good luck.
Yeah. Throw you into a mosh pit. Here's Toad mode. Have fun. See ya.
Is it really only 3 hours?
I don't know if it's
dude, that would be
hours? I don't think that's confirmed.
That would be absurd. 3 hours.
Dude, imagine if it is.
Yeah, that's not confirmed at all.
That would be
a
crazy.
24-hour period or something where it's just like,
even then though, like, it's still not really that much time to build up strategy.
No.
Like if you look at the first like 3 days of Dookey Dash, the top score was like 75K, and then by the end we were hitting that no problem.
Or we could have it be a one-time game, bro.
That would be fucking terrible. I'd get like a 5.
Imagine if it's one time that you get to play it through. You know what that would do for like secondary volume?
Through the roof, so people can have multiple tries.
Because people are gonna end up spending 2 ETH a pop to get more time on that game, so that their main pass
instantly
can
die and get a 0 again.
Do what? Oh my
God. So imagine you have an NA pass and you just instantly die and get a 0 again. Be funny.
You're out on
I feel like if it's only one time, people would just lose their shit.
Does Toad mode have a mini game? Is that the mini game? No.
What?
No.
Can you spend ape coin during Toad mode?
We'll find out this week. I feel confident.
So am I supposed to take the day off of work? Am I supposed to take next Wednesday off of work?
Yeah, dude, I have a dentist appointment next Wednesday. I'm like, I gotta move that shit.
That's tough. I'm not sure what to do. Especially if it's only one day. There's probably a really good chance that I'm super mid again. But can I get lucky and get one of these stupid buddies to go with me into the whatever we're doing next, please?
Me too.
That's all I'm asking. What else we got? Nothing. Blur got us.
Farm and Blur.
Farm and Blur. We talked a bit about security. We talked a bit about butthole keys. We didn't talk about Orangey, another pro gamer, and it looks like he had some friends or acquaintances that were playing on the pass that he was scoring on as well. And if you were caught cheating, then that score was eliminated. Is that how we're reading that? Interesting. And there has been a response already. If you were curious on that, there has been a response from Garga himself. Oh, was that also in the last week? Gordon's letter via CoinDesk?
Was.
Thank you, Gordon. Not that we thought anything different, but that was straight up like, get the spotlight directly on me. I'm going to drop this fucking mic off the Empire State Building. He just walked everything down, which, again, we knew this shit was bogus, but to see it all in plain English, I think, I don't know, was necessary. And then shout out to CNN for their great journalism.
Oh, fantastic journalism.
That was such a great video
news
interview.
network for all Web3 degen things.
To be
and
honest,
Web2 stuff too.
wow, just
love CNN.
Hats off to you, CNN. You fucking killed it. That video looks so professional. Really great people that you got asking those questions.
And they did a lot of good research.
Oh man, you had so many people that were super informed on the matter. So great job.
I don't think they misspoke on a single topic.
No, knocked it
but
out.
There will be another thing that comes out that's like Blur airdrop drops 95% within 1 hour of release.
Yeah.
Dude, like remember when they were like,
they did that with
ApeCoin
ApeCoin.
already down.
Fuck off.
Already down a whopping. And I'm like, there was somebody who was like, Blur's already down from $5 down to like 50 cents. Is this how we want mainstream media to see us? And I'm like, dude, honestly, if we were at $5, I would have been like, half a millionaire. So like,
yeah,
fuck off, dude. And like, that's not reasonable.
Wild.
A half a millionaire. I love it.
Dang, how is that already an hour?
Never heard that before?
No, but I love it.
I was sitting at a Chipotle one time, and this dude was telling me, I forget how we started having a conversation. Oh, I was just sitting with some of my coworkers. We were talking about 401ks and company matches and all that kind of jazz. And
really, really fun stuff.
Real fun stuff, riveting conversation. But we were helping one of my friends who was not familiar with it. We were trying to like get him up to speed and be like, this is why you do this. And this is why you should at least, if you're able to, should try and get the match, yada, yada, yada. Which I don't really subscribe to that anymore. But anyways, this guy overheard our conversation. And
this random
dude sitting there. And then he starts going on and on and on about, oh, yeah, this starts telling us about, he had someone giving him some similar advice, do this, do that when he was really young. And basically he said something about the point when he reached half a millionaire status or something like that. Or so the whole half a millionaire thing just, it sticks with me. It's a funny thing to me.
No, I love it. I love it. We were all half a millionaires in the bowl with the apes. We will rise again.
Good times.
We will rise again, my friends. No, it's been great. It's been great. It's been, I've loved 2023, specifically when it comes to Yuga and Bored Ape information, because there's always something every week, which is nice. Even if it's just a little bit of an update, even if it's the letter, even if it's a game we get to play. They're keeping us involved, and that's what we've been all kind of asking for and hoping for, and knowing that it was coming. And so this is fun to just be along for the ride for sure.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I mean, it's more involvement too, I think, than like the 10KTF weekly stuff, which was still fun. It's still involvement, but like,
that's a whole yes. No,
it's the
100%
Yuga's doing now is the involvement that I want, right? Like, it's more the style that I'm looking for. So,
facts.
Yes, I agree. That's a whole nother conversation. Oh, yes, go. What is your thought?
I'm gonna
Bearish
just
or
throw it out
bullish?
there. What are we doing? Are we buying G tags?
Dude, I
These are
literally
the
almost
only
bought one
things-
before we started streaming.
These are the only things that haven't mooned.
They pushed up
Half-
just a touch,
They've
haven't
been
they?
up. Yeah, when I was looking at them earlier, they were 1.12.
Okay, so they are at 0.03 ETH. Wow. Whoa.
I feel like
You're
they're
just gonna-
like 1.5.
Are you just-
you? No,
you-
you're not.
Sir,
I'm just curious.
Do
I
it.
I do this from time to time.
do it.
How many did I add to my cart?
A lot.
10 ETH worth,
That's
Do
not
we-
bad.
What is that? 9 of them?
probably.
Nice.
Quick maths.
It's got to be right. Yeah.
Do it for the content.
Are we doing that?
6, 7, 8, 9.
Well,
I
let me
don't
come
know.
buy the floor one first, real quick.
I don't know about that, boys. Are we doing that?
I don't know, to be honest. What I don't know.
I say you do it, and then we check back next week. Did this age
Are you about to take a shit and buy this at the same time?
Oh,
Dude, I like it because it's Yuga, but I'm still like I'm a little lost with 10K TF.
Isn't everybody?
Tomorrow is 10K TF Alpha, Anthony. Good point. So what if they do drop fucking a bomb that it's a sneak peek of art or whatever the hell G tags are? What if they do that? I don't know.
Oh, I see the spinny wheel. Dumb whale just swept 10 G tags.
It's gonna be on that unusual whale Twitter account. Tweeter account.
Hey yo,
Hey
GG.
yo.
Congrats.
Well, that
There we
Thank
go.
you for
unexpected
pushing the floor
turn.
up to 1.17. You're a legend.
Well,
Hey, I have some now. Woo!
there we go.
Here we go.
Man,
Thanks for
this
making
is
me
the
feel
last
bad.
time
Make me feel bad about my 2 or 1 that I have. I don't even know. I might only have
I've
1.
got 2, and now I'm like, do I want to pick up a third?
Oh man, there's days that I'm like unbelievably bullish and like I should sell something and get like 3 or 4, not fucking 9 like this Chad. But
Dude,
and then there's other days where I'm like, I'm not sure.
Floor goes down to half an ETH tomorrow.
10K TF, fam.
Alpha sucks. They're like, oh, this whole burn crown for PFP.
You're
Wrong.
taking a little bit of my blur stimmy, 10K TF, fam. So enjoy.
I think it's a good.
Well, you're just
I
trying to
think
make
it's a
up
good-
for selling the blur, your first part of the blur
Yeah.
too early.
So if
this
these
will
don't
just
go to
counterbalance.
like 5 ETH in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna just turn around and dump them all. So I'm gonna pull a Franklin and tough.
That's how we
Good
roll.
luck.
That's how we
Good
roll.
luck.
Well, I'm about to rock the highest bid on there. So if you want to just dump one to me, go for it. I can go ahead and assist with your L.
Yes, I must redistribute the blur stimmy.
Hey, we do it for the content. Congrats, Will. I do like G tags because I like 10K TF. I really, but I will also agree with before we even went down this fucking rabbit hole that now we are in. The Yuga stuff they're doing weekly, much more up my alley.
For
I
sure.
enjoy that.
For
I
sure.
was gonna say shout out to the old mobile game. It's my background on here.
So
Shout
cool.
out, dude. Can they bring that back, please? In this like little.
In a way, will be.
Dude, I don't want to see that game ever again.
How many hours?
My
did you
eyes
play?
are red.
I missed getting that bong by like fucking 4 people.
How many hours did you play of it? Approximately.
I was setting alarms to wake up in the middle of the night as soon as my lives were not fully recharged, but almost recharged, so I could go use them and have no time waste. Went to dinner with friends. I would run to the bathroom to go play around.
Bro, you are sick.
My life for like a
man.
week, and then to miss it by like 3 or 4 slots, and they cut the comp short 3 or 4 days, and I was like making my way up the leaderboard. I was catching up. I was
He's moving.
fuming. Was very
That's
good.
That's a tough L. Either
Mhm.
way, we are all bullish on the library of mini games that we want Yuga to produce for mobile, for free play of all the normies, as well as maybe competitions. I don't know, like whatever we want to do. Like we got to have arcade games in real life clubhouse, surely, right? Let's just make these as arcade games we can play. Why not?
One last little thing before we totally wrap up. ApeCoin 107.9 million tokens. We took a little dip the other day. Now we're kind of climbing back up again. So yeah, I don't know. You love to see it. The interesting thing that I thought also too from the Yuga announcement recently is like they talked about how many people bought tokens, how many tokens were actually spent on the game. And like there was a lot of people saying 401,000, 401,000. Yeah, boy. Let's see. I'm pretty sure mine was off by about 3,000, which I think is what was the amount they used during testing when they were testing the contract. Yeah, 424,566.
The shortest.
427,662. So I'm just saying, your boy's got the most accurate stats.
Thanks, Anthony.
Anthony is a super supporter, by the way. He's been rocking with a lot of our streams, and when I was jumping on and playing random Dookey Dash at night, he was coming through and saying hi. So we appreciate you, Anthony. Thanks for the support. It honestly means a lot. We like talking to each other. We like talking about Bored Ape, but it's always fun to see some familiar faces. So appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
We're just getting started. I promise you.
Not on tonight's stream. We're not just getting started on tonight's stream.
No, we're wrapping up this stream, but Bored TV, we're just about to lift off. We're going to be the MCs of Ape Fest one day. That's what I'm speaking into existence. Bryce will be the comedian. Will be the, information guide. He's got everything. Yeah. He's going to take us through like a million different things that make us all rich. And then I don't know what I'll be. I'll be the background dancer. That's what I'll be.
Ooh,
yes, sir.
That brings me back to first trip vibes when we were just dancing the whole time.
Yes, dude. There. We love the dance.
I'm here for it. I'm ready for second trip. Let's
hey, it's right around the corner. Right, March is almost there.
Is it? It's wild. We're still over here like
March?
Strictly talking about. Yeah. We're over here strictly talking about Toad mode and the summoning, and then it's like we still have the 2D experience, trip number 2.
Dude.
Like, there's just so many things to look forward to.
Fuck,
I love you, the labs.
just headbutt the camera, pass out, and the stream ends. On that note, man, it's been a great conversation. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Bryce, for talking us through a little bit of the blur activity and some things that people can do if they're watching. Congrats on the G tags, of course, my dude. And any last thoughts before we push outro on this thing?
Fade to black.
It's been fun. It's been real fun. Wait, it's been fun. It's been real. I'm not sure it's been real fun.
It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun.
Maybe it has been.
Really, really.
I'm tired. That's it. That's a wrap.
That's the end.
That's a wrap. And this is Bored TV, Bored Talk, and we are really out. See you next week.
Peace.